We've been talking all week about leading by letting go. It's been a great discussion each of the 4 days. So if you haven't caught them, go back. But today, this is my favorite episode because it sort of crystallizes things, at least for me, hopefully for you. So we're going to share our discoveries of the week and so much more on today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. How are you today?
I'm okay, although I think I owe you an apology. You were trying to be very helpful about 3 or 4 minutes ago, and I didn't receive it very well. So let me get that out of the way so I can move forward.
Okay. Thank you, I guess.
You're welcome. What you may not know is that there's a pre-show and there's a post-show, and usually the pre-show and post-show involves Tom helping me with my various issues in life. Let's put it that way.
They're just conversations.
They're just conversations. Yes. So
good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week we have a conversation around a topic. As Bob mentioned at the beginning, that our topic this week has been leading by letting go. And today, as Bob also shared, this is his favorite part of the time of the week where we share our discoveries of the week. So as we go through our conversation and share what we have discovered, we welcome you to share what you have discovered. And please feel free to do that in the comments, whether you're watching us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or
LinkedIn Live, baby. Friday LinkedIn Live.
Yes. Because we know that that'll add value to our show. And it might be the thought or idea that someone else is looking for that we have not yet shared. So please feel free to put that in the comments. If you happen to be listening to the podcast, we know there's no opportunity to share your comments there. And you can go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group and share your discoveries of the week there. There's a post up that gives you an opportunity to share a discovery about leading by letting go or something else that you've discovered this week that you think might be helpful to others. It's the value you have to share to help them take their next step along their own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing your thoughts and ideas as we go through this conversation. And before we get to that, each morning we start our show with celebrations. So Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm celebrating that super moon last night. Did you see it? It was a full moon. It was wild. And I had someone who sent me a picture of it as it came up over the ocean. It was, it was something.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah. It was, I was out. Liz was my wife was officiating the Women's Pro Lacrosse League. And not only the temperature had definitely dropped, which was very comfortable. And the moon was spectacular in the dark sky. So yes, I would agree with that. Great thing to celebrate.
Yes. How about you? We do this every morning.
I know. There's so much.
There's so little prep for this program.
Well, that's what you think. No.
Oh, I see. It's all perspective.
It's all your perspective. I'm going to share that
topic.
I think we've discussed that before.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I would imagine when we went through our knowledge, experience, and perspective equals what's real, we probably dove into perspective. Not that we couldn't come back to it. It's a great thing to consider. Maybe we take a different angle. And a lot has happened since we've had that discussion. So what's real for us now might be different than what was real for us.
Indeed.
No, I'm going to celebrate. We do these things in our lives and our work that are pretty regular. And yesterday, every Tuesday and Thursday, I try to do a LinkedIn post, and I'm part of a group of people who post, and then we try to comment on others' posts as a way to increase the engagement. And it's kind of a very regular thing, and it's we do it at a certain time and all of that. And yesterday I just kind of let go of that. I just decided, you know what? I just wasn't in a place where I had something I wanted to write, and I went back and then fulfilled, I liked and commented on all of their posts. And I just was like, one day is not going to make or break the engagement I have with people on LinkedIn. And
That's
just
after over 2 years of doing this every week, twice a week, right?
pretty close to 2 years.
Yeah.
And not, there have been other times when I haven't done it, except usually the other times where I had some other commitment that was really making it difficult. This time I was just, I don't know. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to be okay with letting go of doing that. So that's my.
I wonder if that's our discussion next week, letting go of stuff as rather than just a leader, just as a person. We let go. We had a program, last week or this week? I don't remember. One day we just didn't do a program. It just didn't work out. And the earth is still spinning on its axis, and presumably there are 2 or 3 people paying attention to what we do. So maybe that's a topic. Folks, you probably have figured out by now I'm scrambling around trying to figure out a topic for next week. Usually we have this nailed down by Thursday, and I just realized it's Friday. And I'm stressed.
Well, what if we did, instead, rather than letting go, we do taking things on or something like that?
Okay.
There's a whole process to that as well.
Yes.
Guys.
When, how, why. Yeah.
Because there is a lot of people who take a lot of things on, even though they maybe don't have the time to do it.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Tom. Not at all.
Anyhow. All right. So that was my celebration. And you shared yours. Thank you. So now let's dive into our discoveries of the week, talking about leading by letting go.
I'm going to start things, if I may. It occurred to me last night, a bit yesterday and more last night, that it's letting go 2 ways. So the leader has to let go of things and give the employee more power over choosing how they're going to do what they do, if they've aligned on what the goal is. I want you to move these 50 chairs to that side of the room. Okay, great. You can do it. You can get a lift. You can carry them one by one. You can stack them on your back. You can get 15 people that are your friends who have nothing to do, come over and move the chairs. I don't care. But by 2:00 today, those chairs all need to be in that corner. At the same time, I think the employee has to let go of the expectation that the person leading them is going to tell them exactly what to do. And it occurred to me last night that if that employee doesn't let go of that, I want to be told exactly what to do, or I'm afraid if I do it my way, it's going to be wrong. The letting go isn't going to work. It's got to mesh. There's got to be, so both sides are really letting go of some of the traditional, here's my clipboard, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Okay, take the first chair, stack it, put 2 more chairs on top of that, move them 33 degrees and all that. And I think that really struck me, that it's not just a one way. The leader can't let go unless the employee is willing to let go of the expectation that the leader is going to tell them how to do every single thing.
I like that. I mean, I think it's a lot about control, right? We feel that.
My favorite word.
Yes. We feel that, I think so often people feel like as a leader, their job is to be in control. They're there to tell people what to do, how to do it. And I think so often in trying to maintain control, we lose the opportunity for growth. We just are always we're going to stay very consistent, which there's value to, no doubt. And again, I think it becomes a little bit of a, how do we create some harmony between what are those things we control and what are those things that we can kind of let go and allow our teams the chance to explore other ways to do things or to share their value, things that they may have discovered from other knowledge or experience, and how helpful that can be to the overall growth of an organization, even if the things that they share or do don't get the results that we expect. It's a great opportunity to learn from that and then figure out how to move forward. It's kind of like manage control. We don't want to give them so much breadth and do just absolutely anything, because there could be greater consequences than we expect. And at the same time, we want to not limit them so that they can still explore and learn and grow. And so I think that's one of the key things for a leader, is figuring out how to balance what they can let go of, as well as what they sort of need to control. And I think that's a challenge, because I think when we're put in a leadership role, it's almost the belief that now we're in control.
Yeah. And I think that control issue is a big one, because so often seeking more control is what gets us into more trouble than letting go. People rise to the occasion when they're given the power to achieve things their way. And often, I'm the first to think that my way is usually the right way. And to let go is to really let go of that and be like, you know what? I don't know the only way to get there. I don't know what your process is to get the graphics done each morning. I know the process I would use. I would do the whole weeks a week in advance. That would just be me. You might be doing them 5 minutes before they're due. I don't know. I don't care. I just know every morning they're ready. And that's what matters. And that's a letting go for me. Letting go of literally, I don't even worry about it. It doesn't even, the only time you might see slight frustration is when they're the wrong ones on the day. And then I don't know if you notice it, but there's a little bit of I might have done that differently.
Mm-hmm.
And
so might have I.
And that's it. And that's the opportunity, I think, as a leader. Not that I'm saying I'm your leader, but as a leader, to say, hey, we set this shared expectation. It didn't get met this time. What happened? And often that discussion is really illuminating. And I think that's one of the most empowering things you can do with employees or people you're working with, is have the discussion around, so what happened here? What might you do differently next time? That's where they grow, versus telling them, Tom, you need to do the graphics a week in advance. It's just the way it's got to be. Then you're like, now you're telling me what to do, really? Versus, yeah, you know what? There are a couple of days a week where it just doesn't fit. And I think that's a big shift in both the leader's mindset and also in that employee's mindset.
Sure. And I think that we also don't know what's going on in their head as they're doing that. To share, one of the things I like about doing it right before the show is it forces me to think about the topic. So while I'm doing it, I'm thinking about, okay, well, what are the things that I might want to share as a part of this? And I think if I did it way ahead of time and I just showed up, I don't know how much thought I would have given to the overall topic. And again, that's just personal.
Right. But that's a really good insight to me that, oh, okay, that's his process. That's great. I think about it because I've been doing the prep work a week in advance. That's when I start thinking it through. And we approach it differently. And that's not bad. It's not that you're doing it right or wrong, or that I'm doing it right or wrong. It's just different. And I think getting to that place is really about the letting go of control.
I like it. Here's mine.
All right.
Discovery of the week. I think so often we think of letting go as a quote unquote negative. That we think of it as, it's like so hard to let go. It's so difficult to let go. It's, why is it so hard for me to let go? And I just wonder if we started to think of it as really is about prioritizing. Because in some regards, when we let go of things, we say that isn't at the same priority as some of these other things that I have to do. And so rather than worrying about control, maybe by letting go, you actually have more control, because you are now prioritizing the things that really are going to make a difference for yourself, and allowing others to figure out how to prioritize the things that they have been given to do as well. And so maybe, to me, as you know, I've been very focused on the words that we use. and how that impacts the perspective that we share, that I think sometimes that letting go seems like a giving up in some regards. It's similar. And I think giving up has the same to me, a connotation of, well, it's
Not caring.
It's not caring. It's important, but I'm not placing an importance on it. I just think that there's an opportunity to look at it as we're putting ourselves in complete control of what we can do, and we're prioritizing that so that we are doing the things that are most important. I think when you think about it, if really you just hold on to everything, how will you ever be able to prioritize that? And likely, if it's all a priority, nothing is a priority. I think that that's an important thing for leaders to consider is what are those things that are most and highest priority of what you're doing. And so really what you're doing is choosing to focus on the highest priority things, not letting go in a sense that you feel like you're
shirking your responsibility.
Yeah.
But also, listening to you, Tom, I want to make clear, I know this is not what you meant, but it sounded slightly like this. Just because I'm prioritizing the things that are important to me as a leader and I'm offloading some things to employees doesn't mean those things aren't important. They are priorities within the organization. So it's not that I'm giving you the junk to do. I'm just trying to set things up in a perfect world where I'm doing the things that are really good for me to be doing to move us forward, and you're doing the things that are really good for you to be doing, whether you have the skill set, the experience, the knowledge, the perspective that can lend itself to that.
Well, or that's the role that you have. Again, I'll go back. I think it was this week, maybe it was last week, the story about the leader who found themselves spending a lot of time worrying about the garbage being taken out. Are the signs correct? Yep. All of those things are important. They're just not necessarily moving the organization forward the way that leader could most effectively move the organization forward. And I think so often that's we don't have roles and responsibilities or things that we are in charge of unless they have some value to the organization. And it's just a matter of who is the person that it makes the most sense for this to be a priority for them. And I think so often as a leader, we forget that. We see it all as a priority, and we need to have our hands in all of it, and which means that none of it becomes a priority.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground this week. We really have.
There's a lot. I mean, I think it's a key issue. I think it's one of those issues that especially new leaders don't understand. They feel like I'm the leader. I need to be aware. I need to have my hands in everything. I need to know what every one of my people are doing at every moment so that if somebody asks, I can be able to give the answer for my team. And I think I believe one of the most effective responses a leader can provide is, you know what, I don't have all that information. I will gather it and get it back to you. And I think so often leaders think they always have to know everything, which we can never do. We'll never know everything and all the details and we can get back to somebody with here are the details. And hopefully we know this is what somebody, our role as a leader, if we're really focused on, hey, I'm going to this meeting. These are the people that are going to be in the room. These are the things that are going on. It would be helpful if I said, if I took some time to think about what are they going to need? What are all the possible things that I might need to have that they might ask about when I go into this meeting? And then I can go to my team and say, hey, can you provide me the information on this? Because I'm going to this meeting. This is what's happening. Rather than spending all the time into what everybody's doing and feeling like you know it. And then you go in there and you're like, well, I know a little bit about it. I don't have all the details.
Right.
I think that's one of the things that a leader can share is that it's okay to share. I don't have every bit of piece of information that our team is working on. And I can get it to you. And I know enough to maybe, or I have taken the time to gather enough to be in a better spot, rather than just showing up to a meeting. Oh yeah, I'm the leader of my team and I'm involved in all of it. And so I can pretty much imagine what people are going to ask.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know about you, but a lot of my coaching is around this letting go and how to let go more and how to empower employees to do more so that the leader can be more effective, because often they're just overwhelmed because they're doing. I worked with one leader who was telling me that he had to approve the toilet paper purchase requisition. I'm like, really? You in the organization, as leader of the organization, it's so critical that you sign off on the toilet paper, that no one else in this whole organization of 200 some odd people can find the right ply and all that. And he said, well, it's just the way it's always been. I'm like, that doesn't mean it has to be that way. And it's a great example of just how it just was assumed that that was part of the job. It just, we need you to sign this requisition form, without having the discussion of, am I really the right person to be empowered with that? Or could it be someone further down the food chain who is more intimately aware of toilet paper pricing, quantities, and all those things? Because the leader had no clue. I mean, it was a rubber stamp probably.
Yeah, well, and I think that's it would be a great thing for them to say, hey, I may have to be the one who signs it. I'm entrusting in someone else to ensure that we have
to manage it.
To manage it, correct?
Yeah.
So that when I'm getting a stack of things that I'm signing, it reminds me. Did you ever watch MASH as a kid growing up?
Yes.
So for those of you who didn't, there was a show a long time ago about being in the Korean War, and there was a mobile
and the Vietnam War. It was really kind of vague. No, it was. You're right. It was just the Korean War. I'm sorry.
It was on like at the beginning and tail end of the Vietnam War.
Yes.
And on into the 80s, I believe. Anyhow, there was like this, I forget even his role, but he seemed like the administrative assistant to the colonel. And he would just walk in with sheets of paper and the colonel would just sign them. And I think that there's, it just, makes me think about, we probably want to at least know what we're signing and who is responsible for it. Yeah, we don't need to be the one who goes out and types it all up or ensures that we've ordered enough, or that's
figures out Charmin versus Scott's tissues.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's not really that impactful. So anyhow.
All right.
Anything else, Bobby, you'd like to share from your discoveries of the week?
No, I'm good. I think we've thrown a lot at people this week.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us today. If you have a discovery of the week you'd like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments. Or, as we mentioned earlier, you can go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group and you can share it in there. And just a reminder, it doesn't have to be about leading by letting go. It could be something else you discovered this week. Because with 1,100 plus people in there who are all trying to figure out their next step along their own unique pathway to success, what you share of the value that you have discovered this week likely will help someone else figure out maybe how to take that next step. And what an amazing thing, whether you know about it or not, that you have shared it, that someone else actually is able to use it and helps them move forward. It's a great way to be a part of a community and to share the value that we have. So we look forward to seeing you inside our Ring of Renegades Facebook group. If not, we'll see you Monday morning, 7 a.m.
Wait. Can we amend that? Make it 8 a.m., Tom.
Sure.
I thought you'd like that.
Did I know this?
Back to 8 a.m.
Okay. I guess we're going to go. So we'll see you at 8 a.m. on Monday.
Is that okay?
It just kind of threw me for a half a second or more.
I thought you knew this was coming, but okay.
No, anyhow, we can follow that up. But the plan will be, we'll be here at 8 a.m. Monday morning for our next episode of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you and enjoy this weekend. Do something to let go of something. Practice it in your regular life, and then maybe it can carry on to work.
Or just go out and prioritize some things. If letting go seems like that would be, maybe just prioritize it. You know what? Yeah, maybe the grass needs to be cut And if you had a really, really busy week and you just need some time off, maybe it's not the highest priority.
So it's 24 inches tall, not 18 when you cut it. What's the difference?
A couple of inches here or there. All right, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.